when a student starts to acquire a new skill, a rigorous pre-preparation plan is required. In this case, it is about Kalpanaswaram. So the student must, even before starting to play it on the Veena directly, observe, understand and absorb the needs or the grammar behind the Kalpanaswarams, grammar behind the playing of Kalpanaswarams. What is Kalpanaswaram? Kalpanaswaram itself is the on-the-spot melorhythmic improvisation of notes within the boundary of Tala and a Raga. So this is the main difference between Kalpanaswaram and Alaapana. Whereas Alaapana is an improvisation of a Raga without the boundary of a Talam, Kalpanaswaram is bounded by the Talam. So that requires an understanding of some features before we start playing. Now there are three major points which a student must understand about Kalpanaswaram. The first point is Eduppu. Now Kalpanaswaram is an improvisation around a particular line in a Kirtana. This line can be in Anupallavi, it can be towards the end of a Kirtana, or it can be the very starting line of a Kirtana, or some artists choose a meaningful line for which a Neraval is done, and after a Neraval, Kalpanaswaram is brought out. So when a Sahityam is involved, naturally one must talk about the place at which the Sahityam starts as opposed to the Thala. If the Sahityam is starting on the beat, then it is called Sama. It starts flush with the beat. The first beat, the Sahityam starts, then you have Sama. If it is going to start before the Talam on the 8th beat, then it is Atitam. If it is going to start after the Sama, it is Anagatam. And even in this, if you have the Anagatam and Atitam, you have the Kal Eduppu, Ara Eduppu, Mukkal Eduppu and so on, which is the quarter, half, 3/4 and so on. So the place at which a Sahityam starts therefore is very important, because when you are making the improvisation with the notes, you have to come and end at the right appropriate point immediately before, one matra before the Sahityam starts. So that the Sahityam comes exactly at the point at which the composer has arranged it. The second point one must notice as part of a pre-preparation is, when you talked about Sahityam, at which note is the Sahityam starting? That is again very important, because you should know at which note you have to come and end your Kalpanaswaram in. For example, if you take Vatapi Ganapatim Bhaje, the composer has placed it at Gandhara. So it is very appropriate therefore to come and end the Swaram at Rishabham, so that the song can be, the Kirtana can be picked up from Gandharam. This will involve smooth transition between the Swaram and the Sahityam. So if you say Pagari Sari Vatapi, now experts can also go and finish it in other notes and pull it off, like it's not wrong to go and finish it elsewhere and catch your Sahityam at the Sthanam where it is placed. It is not wrong, but you need some amount of expertise to do that. So until then, as beginners, you have to stick to the fact that if the Sahityam has been placed at Gandharam, you can finish it either at Rishabham or Panchamam or Gandharam itself. So that is that. These are the two important points about Eduppu. Because the Sahityam is involved, you should know at which point the Sahityam is placed on the Tala and on which note does the Sahityam start. The second point that is very important are the three speeds. Now, by now, if you have reached Kalpanaswaram level, you must have done all your basic lessons in 3 speeds, your Varnams in 3 speeds. So you must be very adept at it. So when you do the Kalpanaswaram, for example, like you can say Ga pa ni sa sa ni pa ga pa ga ri sa ri ma ta pi. In this particular chord way, I have involved the first speed, second speed as well as the third speed. So understanding of 3 speeds is very important when you are doing your Kalpanaswara. In a separate video, I will show you how you practice towards gaining this skill and confidence. Now the third and most important point, of course, is the musical phrases itself. What kind of musical phrases are you going to do? How are you going to do it? There are three subcategories in this. The first one is the doing it the raga way, the composition way. Keeping it as close to the flow of the composition as possible. So if you're going to do again I'm taking Hamsadvani as an example. Especially in the first beat, you can really go by the flow of the rag. You can intonate your notes and bring the bhavam of the notes really well and see that it fits very well within the flow of the composition. The second and most important point is the arithmetic. In arithmetic method also you can bring the raga bhava well. Now the arithmetic method, how do you do it? It is all about calculations. So you are saying I want to stop it at Ganapati. Which means I've already exhausted 6 beats of the talam just with the sahitya. I have 2 more beats left before I go back to Vatapi Ganapatim Bhaje. And this is just an example. So I have 2 more beats, the 7th and 8th beat left before I go to the Sahitya. So you have 2 beats, translates to 8 notes. I can play 8 notes in any whichever way for me to reach Vatapi exactly at the starting point. Now the 4 notes, the 8 notes can be played as a 4 plus 4. You can just say Sa ni pa ga ni pa ga ri pa. Done. Your Kalpanaswaram for those 2 beats are done. Or you can do it as a 2 plus 3 plus 3. So these kind of calculations require a lot of writing, a lot of bringing, a lot of variations in your in the ideas that you create for the Kalpanaswaram. A lot of writing and playing practice has to happen. Many of these ideas have been given in Varnams. In my Abhogi and Mohanam Varnam, I have explained in detail how you look for ideas for Kalpanaswaram from the Varnams. So do go and watch those to get the idea as to how you prepare for this kind of very intelligent phrase making exercise. The third category for the musical phrases is of course jati based category. Now when I say jati based category, you have to also know what kind of jatis you can make. For example, you say ba ta pi 1 2 3 4. I have 4 beats, 16 matras for the 4 beats for me to finish and go back to my vatapi. So then what do I do? Say takadimi 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 takadimi. 4 fours are, I reel it out as jatis. Just as takadimi. Takadimi is 4 matras. Takadimi, takajarnu. All are 4 4. So I said sa ni paga ri sa pa ni sa ri va. Sorry. Now the 4 beats, the 16 matras can be told in a different way in a jati. You can say takadimi takadimi takatakita takita vatapi. So it's just a matter of understanding the jatis and bringing them all together. That makes playing very easy. I'm definitely going to do a video on the jati based playing of Kalpanaswara because it really brings out some kind of freshness to the way you approach the swarams. I hope this video helps in your pre-preparation or in your understanding and observing what involves, what goes into the planning and preparing for Kalpanaswara. Do write in the comment section and I'll clear your doubts to the best of my ability. Thank you.